Folks, welcome back. Now that we're trekking our way through this Lord of the Rings craziness, I want to sit back with you all. I almost had a sitting video here, but I wanted to film this a little later in the hours and everything. But I want to have a conversation with you all about kind of what this means for the market moving forward, at least from my Rudy perspective. I don't know how much people realize how big of a game changer that this Lord of the Rings situation is for Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, and the brand itself of Magic the Gathering. I feel like it's not being, I don't know, shaken and realized enough, an eye-opening experience to you all, that I want to give you my perspective. Because if I was working at Wizards or Hasbro, this would be one of the biggest revolutionary, shocking moments I've had in modern Magic history. Maybe since Mark Bottomwater in 2019 wanted to do his Project Booster Fund to destroy the game's value. But so let me talk about this for a second. Make sure you thumbs down the video. If not, MetaZoo. There you go, thumbs it down. So, we don't really talk about the reserve list much anymore. The pitchfork army of social media and everybody who says, their game pieces and cards should be a penny and reprinted all to the ground, that whole narrative has kind of crept back under the rug. It's all kind of disappeared back into the caves because there's no more reserve list buyouts, there's no more drama and headlines about, prices skyrocketing. Therefore, the people who get very angry and triggered and they curl up into like the letter L and they hide in your basement, they kind of just go back down there. You throw them some food and they hide again. This Lord of the Rings situation has absorbed all money from every direction in like the world of CCGs, especially Magic. And we look in the last 9 months when we went through last year's bear market in Magic. We went through the world famous Magic 30 disaster. And now the Lord of the Rings thing. Do we realize how big of a deal this Lord of the Rings situation is? Because I don't feel like we do. I don't feel like I realize how much of a game changer this is. Because essentially, you have a company like Wizards and Hasbro, which are tasked to always double the revenue, Wall Street, up, 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 more money, more money. Well, this has laid the framework. Why on earth would Magic and Hasbro and Wizards do another Magic 30 type event in the problems, the stock, the crashing, the publicity, everything that happened? Why would they ever go that route again when they just, to try to make some money, X amount of millions, when they just realized by doing a Lord of the Rings or an expensive Universe Beyond crossover, and they put these one-of-one rings and all these really wild chase things in it. Surge foils as box toppers, so you can get a $1,000 box topper once in every so many boxes, 20 boxes or something. And it's like, the money they can make by doing more directions like Lord of the Rings is off the charts, unfathomable. Where it's assuming large amounts of risk to try to tap into this reserve list old stuff, which caused the company all this brand damage. I almost want to say, I want to stop short because I'm hesitant, but because again, they are stupid, and Cynthia Philip Morris just wants you all to smoke more cigarettes. But I feel like at this point in time, they have realized what I have realized, which is, holy smokes, if we get these big brand crossovers, the potential for insane money is just off the chart for Hasbro. It can't even be calculated. Because I don't even think Hasbro and Wizards realized that the Lord of the Rings thing was going to be this big of a deal. They had no idea this one-of-one ring was going to be over $2 million. I assure you all that. They had no idea that the other serialized rings were going to be, the number one of a dwarf ring was going to be 13 grand. And then surge foils on a box topper be $1,000 cards. I don't think even they realized what was coming for this market. And it also reemphasizes that we are going through, right now in 2023, the biggest psychological and financial shift in the modern era of the world of Magic the Gathering we've probably ever been through, since at least in the 8 years I've been on YouTube. I don't think we've ever been through this much of a change. Maybe in 2017, when they started doing all the master sets, and it started freaking people out where the prices of modern cards were collapsing. And then, of course, that's because of that, all the money fleed modern and just started piling into reserve lists. But now, Hasbro and Wizards have unlocked the achievement of going in a direction that doesn't impact any legal pushback and problems, and reprinting collector's edition when Mark Bottomwater said it would never happen. And Cynthia's just like, look, we can do as many fireside chats. Chris Cox will be recognized at every party. And if they literally just do more directions and crossovers like Lord of the Rings, the amount of big IPs they could go with is pretty big design space. And they don't have the major downside risk. They don't have the liability. They don't have the brand risk. They don't have the pushback. They don't have to jump between hurdles and things, navigating, messing with this old economy or these old cards with all these old fogies and against what they stood for in the reserve. Like, I feel like I've realized what they probably already realized, is that this really does change everything. When they now have the ability to unlock the achievement of printing multi-million-dollar chase cards in new products that can generate more money than ever, why would you try to do Magic 30 or Magic 40 and make 10% of the money and then collapse your stock and have problems and take all that risk? Why don't we just go over here and just make all this infinite money? And that's how corporations look at it. They want to go in the path of least resistance, least liability, and they don't want brand risk and blowing up, which what happened with Magic 30 was a major black eye on Hasbro. It's the same thing with the D&D and the open license with Dungeons & Dragons. It was a major black eye, and it got blowback. But now they've realized they could do these universes beyond, and it's actually fucking working. And not only is it working, the market is reacting unlike anything any of us could have ever imagined. That's why even I've been making videos shocked. I can't believe the One Ring, people are willing to pay over $2 million for it. I can't believe people are willing to pay $13 grand for a #1 of a dwarf ring. So what are they paying? $2-3 grand for a regular one? Like, I'm blown away that people are paying that much. I mean, these are prices higher than reserve list prices. I mean, a couple million for one ring is like, do you know how many beta Black Lotuses or unlimited Black Lotus? I could buy out, oh my God, unlimited Black Lotuses for a couple $1 million. You could wipe the market. Like, that's how much it's changed. And I wanted to make just a straight conversation with you all, because this is why, #1, the vintage market, the sealed box market of old boxes, and the single cards of ABU, Four Horsemen, Revised, ugh, Ice Age, ugh, 4th edition, ugh. I mean, nobody cares. All the money in new money, in flashy money, crypto bros, all that stuff is flowing to the new stuff. We are seeing, I wouldn't say zero, but we're seeing a very negligible, very small amount of money even go after the old cards. I mean, there is. People are always old fogies like me and old farts, and people love old stuff, but we are not seeing the capital chase any old stuff, period. It is going straight up into Lord of the Rings. Yeah. And I had some conversations about it, and I'm like, I don't even know, after what happened with Hasbro in Magic 30, in the whole reprinting the collector's edition set that they said they would never do, and they lied, and Mark Rose, the whole thing that happened anyways. And at this point in time, I mean, you can't say never, never, but I mean, do we really think they're going to do it again after what happened last time? And then all to what? Make $5, $10, $20 million when they can make God knows how many $50, $100 million. God knows the revenue. The Lord of the Rings revenue has to be 50 to 100 million plus. And there's no pushback at all. Actually, it's made headlines everywhere. It's expanded the name of Magic the Gathering, the brand. It's been positive. It's been extraordinarily successful for Hasbro, Wizards, and Magic. And because of that, in conclusion of this video, I don't know how much the reserve list and the old cards matter anymore, because nobody cares. I look at this channel, and if I make a video about the new Lord of the Rings, or next week when we start doing Lord of the Rings collector box openings for patrons, look at the views. When we're talking about these crazy stuff with Lord of the Rings, and compare that to if I audit the old cards or a reserve list video, you can see what people care about. And the world has changed. The viewers have changed. And the reserve list stuff and the attitude towards it is completely different post Magic 30. And now, with this Universes Beyond proving, and I didn't think it would, I was wrong on that, proving to be this successful for Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro, it's a big deal. It's a really big deal, folks. And I know we don't have our hype and memes and stepsisters and washer-dryer jokes in this video and tacos and stuff, but sometimes we have to have these real conversations because this is a major game changer. It's a major game changer because I can't imagine what other IPs and things they can create. I mean, you all really think after this level of probably the most successful Magic set in history, $2 million one of one, you really don't think Wizards next year is going to have more sets with 1 of 1 serialized, 1 of 10, 1 of 50? Like, you don't, I mean, bro, ladies and gentlemen, you know, this has unlocked a whole different path for Magic the Gathering. And this path does not include messing with the reserve list because nobody really gives a shit anymore. I think it's a fascinating topic. Have a great day, everybody.